Donald Trump, my son, do not doubt me and do not doubt what I will do for you. Everything stolen, everything lost, you are about to get back in multiplication. My son, beyond your wildest dreams, I will restore and give back more.
Literally crying because her God Emperor Donald Trump is not in the White House anymore. Absolutely unhinged stuff. This is Trump prophet Julie Green. There's something happening right now in the news. It was announced that Donald Trump might be indicted and arrested on Tuesday. Now, by the time this comes out, this whole situation is already going to be over. But there's some interesting stuff happening right now, so I wanted to talk about it anyways. Trump tweeted that he expected to be arrested on Tuesday. Now, I'm not even sure exactly when that is in relation to at this moment. In a few days, I think. Is it going to happen? I don't know. But people's reactions to it have been absolutely fascinating. So I wanted to look at some of the top supposed prophets in Trump's orbit. I'm talking pastors who believe themselves to be part of the Trump religion. I'm talking people who believe that Trump is the new Messiah effectively. And I wanted to take a look at how they're reacting to the news that Trump might or might not be indicted. So who we have on screen here is a woman named Julie Green. She was famously the campaign prophet for the Doug Mastriano campaign. He ran for governor of Pennsylvania back in, I think, 2022 midterms. I wanted to listen to what her reaction was to Trump saying that he might be arrested sometime in the near future. And then we're going to talk about some of her other absolutely unhinged, bizarre ideas. Now, when you listen to this, remember that Julie Green is effectively a Trump prophet. She believes that Trump is like the Messiah.
I told you, my children, don't worry about the things that you see, because the things that you see are temporary. What they are trying to do to your rightful president, that's a laughing matter.
A laughing matter, okay? Your rightful president, of course, is supposed to be Trump. This is a laughing matter.
There will be no indictment of my son. Not the way they wanted it to go. Oh, no, no, no. The indictments? Oh, yes, there will be indictments, I promise you.
Dude, she is so cringy. She is so cringy. I can't stand it. And people believe her, okay? This isn't a nobody. She's got like a ton of Rumble subbies. She's very influential in some QAnon groups and some Donald Trump groups. Like I said, campaign prophet of the Doug Mastriano campaign. Dude got like 40% in the governor's race in Pennsylvania. That's how high up she is in this movement, okay? Really high up.
But it will be indictments for the ones who are trying to make this indictment.
So what you heard her just now kind of skip over her words and then come back and say, excuse me, and correct it. It's because she's reading something. Here's how it works. Let me explain the chain of events for you. She claims to hear the voice of God. So God is speaking to her. She writes those things down word for word, types it up on a computer, puts it out in front of herself like as a kind of script or something, and then reads it verbatim, word for word, and claims that it's Holy Scripture. This is coming directly from God. This is word from on high. So she has to get every word and inflection exactly right because she thinks it's coming from God. She lives in a delusion.
Trying to make this indictment. Because this is a time of seed time and harvest. And I told you before, many, many times, in many other words I have given to you. They are reaping a harvest. They have no idea what's coming. I am an end to their plans because I am the great I am.
And that's the end. God, that's her prophecy about Trump not being indicted. That's fascinating. So she's seemingly convinced that Trump isn't going to go to jail or be indicted. Now, I'm not convinced that he's going to either, but, I'm not sitting here prophesying that it's not going to happen. I'm not sitting here claiming that God told me that it's not going to happen. Imagine the humongous heckin' brass balls you'd have to do a false prophecy, or to do a prophecy that could have any chance of being false. This isn't vague at all. She's very specific here. So let's talk about who she is, why she's famous in the first place. Look at some of her other clips that she's had to say. And then I want to look at what some Trump supporters have been saying to get it on the record, what their plans are if Trump is arrested or something. Listen to what she had to say about Iran here. This is from mid-February 2023. Should give you an idea of some of the ideas and beliefs she has.
But remember what I have said about the so-called governmental powers. I am bringing them all down, and the world will know that I, and only I, am the God, the creator of heaven and earth, could have done this in this way.
Remember, she's reading from a script. It's like prophecy from God. It's so cringy. It is painful, dude. I literally want to projectile vomit listening to how cringy this is. It's bad.
Canada is coming too. Iran and Iraq.
I think it's Iran, but okay.
They will all join forces against my eagle.
My eagle. She's using like code words now. I guess the eagle is supposed to be America, right? In Vietnam, they didn't have, they didn't really have eagles over there, but Vietnam soldiers had eagles on their uniforms, so people called them chicken men because they didn't know what, they had no context for what an eagle was, but they had chickens there. Kind of interesting. So she says Iran, Iraq, and Canada are coming for the eagle for America. They're going to fight America. Canada? Okay, go on.
Iran and Iraq. They will all join forces against my eagle. But they won't see, in their arrogance, the traps that they are about to run into. Traps have been set, and I told you many things are going on in the waters. You can't see, but you are about to, saith the Lord.
Saith the Lord. God gave her this message to deliver to everybody else. It's just painful, dude. It's straight up painful. What was it that 1 Timothy 2:12 said? I think that's the one. It's either 1 or 2 Timothy. I will not suffer a woman to teach. She will have no authority over a man. She will be in subjugation to him. Something to that effect. What happened to that? I don't think that's right. That's deeply wrong, honestly. But again, I'm not the one claiming to hear from God. I'm not the one claiming that the Bible is like the divine authority or whatever. She is. This one's February 21st, 2023. Check this one out. This is another political claim that she's about to make.
Judgment is coming to the DOJ. They will be linked to many people and groups like the FBI, the CIA. Their hands are dirty, and their connections to Google, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and many corporations and news agencies.
Dude, she hates the FBI and the Department of Justice and stuff because the FBI infiltrated some extremist groups, and of course she's connected to those extremist groups and loves them to death. The FBI prosecuted some January 6th cases, I think. The Department of Justice certainly did, and that upsets her to the bottom of her black little heart.
So Google, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok.
Okay, so I guess she's saying the government is connected to social media companies?
Corporations and news agencies. Their house of cards is coming down. A whistleblower is coming that will take down Merrick Garland.
He's the head of the Department of Justice at the moment, I believe.
And his lies and his connections to the globalists and proof of them hiding evidence regarding the Biden and all of his sinister crimes against the children. And
all of his sinister crimes against the children? What is she talking about? She's a full-blown QAnoner, so she thinks that Biden has, a room full of kids that he just, sticks a straw in their arm like a Capri Sun and just punches a hole in it and starts drinking it, to stay young, of course, because he's 107 years old, but he's still young and spry in her mind, I guess. I don't know, dude. God, this is crazy.
Against the children.
and against this nation. Nothing will stop this collapse that's coming of every entity used to steal this nation out of the hands of the people, saith the Lord of hosts.
The Lord of Hosts. God, this is nuts, dude. I'm telling you, this is crazy. How did she get here? How did she get to this point? Was she born like this, just nutty as can be? Now, there's a little bit of an older video, August 3rd, 2022. I wanted to watch that, but before we do, I want to look at Trump supporters' response to the idea that Trump might be arrested on Tuesday. At this immediate moment, we have no reason to think that he's going to be. Really, not much of one anyways, other than the fact that he tweeted himself that he was going to be arrested on Tuesday. This website is completely unregulated. This is where the Donald subreddit went when it was banned off of Reddit. It used to be r/the Donald. When it was banned from Reddit, they created their own website. It was thedonald.win. And then there was some kind of a conflict with the owner of the URL, thedonald.win, so they moved to patriots.win. At least in part because Donald Trump had already said he's going to start his own political party, the Patriot Party. So they named it patriots.win. Anyways, it's completely unregulated, and this is, the FBI is all over this website. This is where people go to look at the extreme of the extreme and see what their thoughts and beliefs and ideas are. Again, I would not normally show anything on screen here because they throw slurs and death threats and full-blown real shit around like nothing. It's all over the place on this website. Anyways, let's just read their reaction. This is the tweet that Trump sent out. Now illegal leaks from a corrupt and highly political Manhattan District Attorney's Office, which has allowed new records to be set in violent crime and whose leader is funded by George Soros, this is all in caps by the by, indicate that with no crime being able to be proven and based on an old and fully debunked by numerous other prosecutors fairy tale, the far and away leading Republican candidate and former president of the United States of America, himself, of course he's talking about himself, will be arrested on Tuesday of next week. Protests take our nation back. Okay, so why is he being arrested? Allegedly, he's being arrested, according to him. We don't even know if this is true, because he took money from donors that was supposed to be spent on his political campaign. He was supposed to take that money and put it into funding ads and stuff like that to get himself elected. And instead of spending it on that, he paid Stormy Daniels money to not talk about his tiny hands, among his other tiny appendages. That's called wire fraud, and it is very illegal. So Jim Baker went to jail for like 7 years, or I think he was sentenced to 15, but he ended up getting out of it for that and some other stuff too. So that should tell you that this is no joke. It's a real crime that he's facing right now. It's real. So anyways, that's what he's been accused of, and there is a possibility maybe he'll be arrested for it. I don't know. I don't trust a word out of his mouth, but let's look at how these patriots, as they call themselves, patriots, are reacting to the news that Trump might be arrested. Again, by the time you see this, we'll already know if this happened or not. I just want to look at their reaction before it actually took place. Nationwide strike. All patriots stop what you're doing and bring society to a halt. They think they're a lot more powerful than they are. Yeah, a strike will do it. They don't care. Until they burn to the ground, nothing changes. This country used to be full of patriots that would die fighting a corrupt government. Now we sit on forums complaining. No coordination. Oh yeah, I'm going to censor some of these words out. Self-censor, so. It's a lot more graphic than I'm letting on right now if you're not looking. They'd love watching us willingly burn America to the ground. Okay, let me just scroll down. Let's look at number 2. The second most liked. This comment was apparently deleted from the forum, but I actually know what it said. Let me pull it up. I'm kind of surprised that that they do any moderation, that they deleted this at all. They probably deleted it because they didn't want to look bad, but let me see if I can find it. I'll find it and I'll insert it later. Basically, what it said was Trump supporters intended to create a barrier. They intend to show up at his place and form a wall around him with people that are armed with AR-15s. And if law enforcement attempts to arrest him, they will stand in the way. And it'll get ugly if that's what it comes to. A wall of patriots, basically, is what they said. That's what this comment said. And they said, best comment here should be pinned. What if they use choppers to circumvent the Patriot moat? And then this deleted one, I saw all this last night. It said, this certain specific type of gun would do the trick nicely. I mean, real shit, guys, I'm telling you. These people are absolutely unhinged from reality and ready to do absolutely whatever it takes to get their way. This country is done if this happens. This proves the establishment gets its last laugh, become ungovernable. Wrong. This is not the only country this happens. The same thing happens also in Pakistan, Sudan, probably Libya too. They live in a delusion. They think that Trump is completely and totally innocent of all charges and that he's just being persecuted. How are they this divorced from reality? Seriously. False flag incoming. The government needs a huge distraction from whatever BS they're going to pull. Banking crisis into CBD or CBDCs? Yeah, I don't know what they're talking about. Oh, they also call themselves PEDs on here. PEDE, as in centipede. Like they're a monster with like millions of legs or something. I don't even know. It's to cause a distraction. The monetary system will probably collapse next week. They just, God, they live in a fantasy land. It must be something other than their God Emperor, which is what they call him, by the way. I'm not joking. They call him God Emperor, Geodis, God Emperor of the United States. Their God Emperor's being arrested. It has to be a distraction rather than he actually broke the law. Can't be that. People are going to realize that they should have been listening to the doomers and organizing. Yep, if this happens, the entire Patriots in control narrative is going down in history as the biggest psyop the world has ever seen. That's, the Patriots in control thing, that's a QAnon belief. Should have already gone down as such. Do you really believe Patriots were in control of Afghanistan and the continuing war support against the last non-globalist nation on Earth? What? The last non-globalist nation on Earth was Afghanistan? Is that what he's saying? Wow, that's confusing as hell. Okay. Meanwhile, the Q-tards are talking about how this is all part of the plan. Yeah, they kind of gave up on QAnon a little while back, which is surprising to me because Trump is actually still, like, dog whistling to QAnon. Dare I click it? Dare I click this link? This is a risky click if I've ever seen one. Ooh, boy. I might have to take this live stream down immediately if it gets too bad. Meanwhile, the Q-tards are talking about how this is all part of the plan. He's getting arrested and is telling us to protest. He literally cannot be any more clear. There's no 4D chess here. So many posts like this. And what is this? Let's see what happens. All planned. Repercussions will be ugly regardless. All planned. POTUS is safe. Enjoy the show. I pray no innocent lives are illegally taken. I know this is part of the plan, but I hate this. The idea of President Trump being fingerprinted and maybe handcuffed. Not okay. They are poking the MAGA badger. They can't be this stupid. I've gone from wanting these corrupt bastards in jail to wanting many of them dead. Fair trials and speedy executions. Maybe that's the goal here. To push us to the place where we don't bleat like sheep anymore. We roar and rage. These people are extremists to the core. Like, there is no other way to frame this. You know, there's no other way to look at this. They're extremists and they're nutcases. It's absolutely crazy, dude. View 10 more comments. Let's see. This is incredible. I literally have a hard time believing the Manhattan DA would attempt this. Communists killed 100 million in my grandfather's lifetime. This shouldn't surprise anyone. Oh, my God. Oh, they live in a fantasy land, dude. Well, looks like we may have World War III and our second Civil War at the same time. I'd expect to hit the fan if they tried to take down Trump. Is the Secret Service going to allow him to be taken? Aren't they sworn to protect him from illegal shit like this? That's the thing, bro. It's not illegal. Okay? Donald Trump broke the law. This is a completely 100% legal arrest if it were to happen. We're about to see our country being thrown into the trash can if they go through with this, all while there is a huge banking crisis threatening the next Great Depression. Neat stuff. It's not threatening the next Great Depression. He doesn't know the difference between a depression and a recession, but that's neither here nor there. These people are just God, dude, they just live in a different reality. Seriously. Different reality. Out of sheer curiosity, though, let's just kind of glance through a couple of these other posts. Save Trump edition of Smash the CCP Sunday. Huge updated thread listing Republican statements on persecution of Trump. Persecution. Biden's DOJ is coordinating with the Democrat Manhattan DA to arrest Donald Trump. No, that's completely made up. Like, but what she's trying to communicate is that Biden is planning to arrest Donald Trump or whatever. That's just fabricated nonsense. The top Republican presidential candidate for 2024 and charge him with a fake, outdated misdemeanor charge. It's all for politics. This is what they do in communist countries to destroy their blah, blah, blah. God, she's so unhinged. It's funny, even some people who are on the list are clearly doing so as obvious political calculation. Pence and Bolton may be persona non grata as far as politics go anymore, but even they were smart enough to make statements on the matter condemning the possibility of Trump being arrested. See, this is what I'm talking about right here. This is why I have to censor, like, everything on this website. I cannot leave anything up to chance. If I'm not directly reading it, it needs to be blurred. Blank isn't on that list. How pathetic it is that Pence and Bolton did the right thing even though they hate Trump, while blank is quiet on this, like he was on Mar-a-Lago for a while. I guess DeSantis is who they're talking about. J.D. Vance, this is another one. Got to censor this stuff out. No DeSantis or Kristi Noem or Sarah Huckabee Sanders or Nikki Haley or many others. Surprise, surprise, surprise. This is great. Thanks for sharing. We have a Bolshevik problem, they say. A Bolshevik problem. Regardless of what you may intend, you say it like that in this context. You make it sound like somehow long dead people from the Soviet Union who didn't outlast Stalin are somehow directly responsible for all this from beyond the grave. That's kind of how it feels sometimes when they talk about this stuff. So anyways, yeah, that's what's happening right now with Trump and all the Trump people and the indictments and everything. So anyways, yeah, deeply entertaining stuff, dude. I'm just blown away by some of the stuff they believe. It is so fascinating to watch them just eat themselves alive with conspiracies and hate and all of it. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. Oh, and by the way, by the time you see this, we'll know one way or another if Trump's been arrested. I'm placing bets. I'd bet anything Trump's not going to jail. I'd bet anything he's not going to jail. If I'm right, you have to like this video. And if I'm wrong, you have to like it anyways. All right, let me know what you think in the comments. Canada is going to go to war with the U.S. Canadian here. We don't go to war for Jack. And with our largest trade partner, she's nuts. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. She most definitely is unhinged from reality, has no idea what she's talking about. But you remember, see, this is the trick that they play, that these televangelists and supposed prophets play. They claim something completely outrageous, and then they say, and God is going to prevent it from happening. Kim Clement made the same exact claim about Malaysian airline something or other, the one that went missing. He claimed that ISIS secretly stole it and that they were planning on running it into a building in the United States, but God was going to prevent that from happening or something like that. You can't claim to be a prophet of God and claim that God sent you this message that something is not going to happen, some outrageous thing that's so deeply unlikely to happen anyways, and then claim a victory when that thing doesn't happen. Like, how absurd is this? I prophesy that Canada is going to go to war with the United States, but God is going to stop it from happening. Okay, so they're not going to go to war with the U.S. then. What? Nothing about what they say makes any sense. It's absurd. As it happens, I am a member of some, really extreme, nutty Telegram groups. The Telegram is where a lot of really crazy, messed up stuff happens. So I just wanted to kind of take a quick glance through and see what's happening on here. Oh, God, this dude has a Substack? I had no idea. Oh, dude, I have to follow this. Q Stradamus. He calls himself Q Stradamus. That's crazy. Healing prayer for COVID, vaccine injury, respiratory heart disease. Ugh. Every patriot needs to be in the streets. They want a civil war. Let's show them. Feds this weekend, probably. Morning, friends. Happy Saturday. Yeah, this guy is called Praying Medic. He's a QAnon extremist. Let's just check Jaron Jackson. He ran for office in somewhere, I forget where, and he lost. but he's got 70,000 subbies on Telegram. There is no algorithm on Telegram that pushes people toward any other Telegram poster. So the fact that he has 70,000 subbies on here is deeply impressive, honestly. I'm not seeing anything really interesting or on point here about Trump. Let's check arrest. Let's just search for arrest. QAnon. Here we go. Trump says he'll be arrested. This is a QAnon group. It's very influential within the movement. Trump says he'll be arrested and calls for protests to take nation back. Well, a few of us have been posting this since 3 years ago. This event was coming. I shared cabals. This is not how cabals is spelled, if that's what they meant. Cables in 2021, also stating Italian intel community and Russian intel were expecting Trump to be arrested also. These cables stated the arrest of Trump would ensure a military coup had taken place and was still taking place, and the arrest was significant to military courts to ensure a DS military coup was or is taking place. In the end game, the CIA, FBI. Wow. In the end game, the CIA, FBI, regiment, Rockefellers. Wow, this is just a fever dream here. Okay, let's check the Donald Trump Telegram group here. Oh, wait, did they post it in the same? Yeah, I think they just copied and pasted it. Let's check Jaron Jackson. Jaron Jackson ran for office. I have some videos about him. If you want to see what else he had to say on various subjects, just search my website, owenmorgan.com. I got some videos pop up about him. A call to protest? Protest what? 45 being arrested? Yeah, that's not right. It's wrong. But protest? My prayer is that the people now see walking down a street may have a temporary effect on decision makers. It may stop the singular thing being protested, but the protest needs to be greater in specificity. We need to learn how to turn the screws, learn the Constitution and state constitutions, learn common law, zing these servants with petitions that strike at their power, pocketbook in person. So he's calling for political action rather than protest. That surprises me. He's an extremist to the core. Trump hasn't yet been arrested. A future event. It's already shaping people's belief and expectations. Interesting. Stu Peters. Oh my God, he's terrible. Yeah, I'm going to have to cover that one too, censor that one. Antifa, Stu Peters. Wait, when did this happen? This is March 18th, I think, is when he posted it. So those are the most recent ones, looks like. Just, God, they live in a fever dream 24/7, dude. It's nuts.